Well, hello everybody. So I'm going with another car ride home talk to see how things go. I'm not as talkative, I don't think, in the afternoon. I'm more thoughtful and reflective because I've kind of thought about a lot of things all day. My mind's been going and racing. So, like I said, I don't tend to, I think, probably talk as much or as probably as excitedly in the afternoon. But nonetheless, there are definitely some things that strike me that during the day that I love, um, that I love to think about because they're lessons that I want to reflect on. And I really do. I learn something every day, man. And I think that's what I'm going to make this for. Uh, the afternoon episodes, who knows? Maybe the afternoon episodes are a different episode. Again, like I said, probably nobody's ever going to watch these anyways, and that's why I'm doing them. It's just getting used to talking to the camera again. That's, I don't know. But so, anyways, what was I going to talk about today? What I wanted to talk about, I think, in the afternoon drive home was living intentionally. I had put together, and I'll probably still do it, a full video on how I've been living more intentionally and how it's been helping me. And it really was a big difference in the most recent changes that have been happening in my life. Things like running and eating better and having a better morning routine. A lot of those have just all been about living more intentionally. Again, something I read, something hit, something struck that I've decided to live more intentionally. And in doing so, it's crazy some of the things that start happening. This morning I talked about lofty questions. And one of the lofty questions that I've been doing, I don't know if I can grab it out right now. One of the lofty questions that I've been repeating has been around creativity and ideas. And the one around ideas go, why am I always so brilliant, so clever, and so able to develop creative ideas through my intuition or through something greater than myself? And, it's funny. Again, it's one of those things that sounds corny when you say it, but once you start saying it, if you believe in it, man, the power of it, the universe does start answering the question for you. And it answered for me this morning. I decided that one of the things I'm going to start doing is I want to start being excellent in all areas of my life. And I had decided that a while back and had the epiphany over the weekend, my girlfriend and I, as we were talking, that I'm just definitely not even coming close. I'm still very much cherry picking where I'm living excellently, and it's not giving me the results that I want, and I don't know. So, like I said, it was a good realization and a good epiphany, if you will, that I'm picking and choosing and cherry picking the places where I'm living with excellence. And so, number one being place lacking is my relationship. Love my girlfriend, and I think things have been good, and they've been even better lately. But we're still not living intentionally. And there's things that we could do together intentionally to just create some more quality time together and just some more meaningful time. So that was one of them. But another big one for me has been my job. I have been struggling for a while, 49 years really, figuring out what I want to do. But especially now, since I've really discovered much more of what my purpose is, and that is truly to just if nothing else, I thought I found my purpose, and that is to have a channel where I can, in an avenue where I can share my life story, and hopefully somebody can learn from some of the lessons that I've learned because of the mistakes I've made, and prevent some of the pain that I went through. And I know it sounds like a corny idea and maybe an idealistic idea, but It's something that really just keeps pulling me back and pulling me back. I get a lot of personal happiness from knowing that something I said helped somebody get through a tough point in their life, or maybe get out of a rut or something like that. I don't know. It's something that I've always found a lot of meaning in, and when it happens in my own personal life to me on occasion, when people come to me for advice, or it happens organically, then it's just, like I said, it's something that's been a great source of happiness for me. So originally I thought, this channel was what I was meant to do that. And that's been great, and it's been a good avenue to do that. But I think the purpose of this channel, the more I get into it, has been about therapy. It's about continuing my therapy. And anybody that might be interested in continuing that journey along with me, go right ahead and keep following. But that's what this channel's been about for me, because every video I make, or every topic that I research, or every free flow conversation I have with myself like this, there are so many new things that I learn, and realizations that I have, and things that I need to work on. And I realize how much more I have to work on. Parenting, relationships, anger issues, a lot of different things. It's just been pretty fascinating. But so I don't know how I got to that, but one of the things I did want to talk about is intentional living, and how I've been living more intentionally. And like I said, I've created a video, and I'll probably get it out soon, about how I'm living more intentionally, and the benefits it's had in my life, and how much I love it. But one of the ways I committed myself to doing is, I'll go back to that. That's what I did, is I forgot telling about nursing. So one of the ways that I've been realizing, and I had to come to a realization of, is that I have not been living with excellence is my job. I love my client. He's an amazing guy. He's an older man. Well, older, I say older because I think most people think of, well, I don't know why I say older now that I come to think about it. Because he's not an older man as most people would think of it. He's in his early 30s. But he is somebody who, he's nonverbal, but he can communicate with me enough to be able to communicate emotions, and has a smile that would just absolutely melt anyone's heart, and a laugh that when he gets, it's contagious. When he gets laughing, forget about it. I'm done. But so I love my time with him. But one of the things my girlfriend pointed out to me recently, I think one of the reasons I struggle with not loving my job, despite loving my client, is because I don't love being a nurse as much as I love being a caregiver. Before I became a nurse, I was a CNA. And I remember thinking when I became a CNA, in fact, the first week I was in training, thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm in heaven. I should have been doing this 20 years ago. I wish I would have found this 20 years ago. But nonetheless, I spent 4 or 5 years as a CNA, and I absolutely loved being a caregiver. I used to put, I think it's still on my resume, that I call myself, you're going to laugh, sounds corny, but I call myself a caregiver with a capital C, because it's what I am and who I am, not what I do, you know? So when I became a nurse, I think that was the reason why, is I thought, well, maybe I can just continue to be a caregiver and make a little more money at the same time, and have a little more flexibility with what I can do. That has all been the case, but it has also resulted in me still doing a job that conflicts with what I truly want to do. I want to be a caregiver. I want to help people, and I want to love people, but not necessarily be a nurse. You know, it's not the nursey things that excite me. Nothing about working at a hospital and doing wound care and doing nursey things excites me. I have very minimal medical activities that I need to do with this patient, and that suits me just fine. Most of my job is about making his life and his quality of time better, you know, and that's what I enjoy doing. And whenever I can make someone's life better and help them live a better life and live the best version of their life, that's what makes me happy. So having said that, I decided that one of the things that would cause less conflict in my body and my soul is that if I started acting in accordance with, if I started treating my job, just because I didn't want to do it doesn't mean that I can't do that. I don't need to also do that with excellence as well. So my new commitment is to be excellent in my job as a nurse and do the best I can for him as well. Whatever that means, if I'm still doing this 10 years from now, so be it. If I'm still doing it 10 months from now, so be it. I don't know where it's going to take me, where life is going to take me, but I do know that I do owe it to him to be the absolute best nurse that I can be. So, having said all that, one of the ways that, going back to that lofty question, it's funny how when you start speaking to the universe will answer those questions for you. I'm asking the universe every morning and every day now, why am I so creative, and why do I come up with these wonderful creative ideas, you know? And the answer is, the universe is answering me. It's because you think this. I don't know what the universe is saying, but it's giving me answers to my questions in the sense that it is fulfilling. It is fulfilling the person that the question is asking about. That's what it's doing by me. But so the reason I say that is because, like, for instance, today, my patient has an albuterol treatment, a nebulizer treatment, which, for anybody who doesn't know, takes about 10 or 15 minutes, depending upon how well, he's positioned, because he doesn't always have his head the right way, and so it doesn't always. Anyways, 10 to 15 minutes. But one of my orders is also to do some passive range of motion for 10 minutes every day as well. And the problem I have when he's doing his nebulizer treatment is he's also somebody, he breathes with apnea. And what that means is he stops breathing for about 10 to 15 seconds he gets 2 or 3 good breaths in, and then he'll stop breathing for 10 to 15 seconds. 2 or 3 good breaths, it stops breathing for 10 to 15 seconds. And so when you have a constant flow nebulizer trying to go into him, with just a mask, you can imagine how that's, I think, wasting a lot of the nebulizer, and he's not getting the full benefit from it. So this morning, especially when he was congested, it was on my mind to both be excellent in my job was on my mind, as well as his congestion. So I thought, and so him wanting to get the best out of the neb. So I thought to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some passive range of motion with him while he's getting his nebulizer. And the reason why is because when I do his range of motion with him, he breathes completely normally. The activity causes him to breathe, and he doesn't do the apnea. He doesn't stop for 10 to 15 seconds. So he continues to just breathe normally like you and I at a normal pace. I tried it. Sure enough, man, it worked like a champ. We did 10 minutes of solid, good passive range of motion, which is just me moving his limbs around, because he doesn't have I shouldn't say he doesn't have active control of it, because he does. He gives me a fist bump in the morning to say hi. But it's not easy for him to move the way he needs to keep full flexibility. So he has orders for passive range of motion. I did his passive range of motion while I was doing the nebulizer treatment, and his breathing was a good pace and everything, and he was done his nebulizer treatment in 10 minutes. It was phenomenal. And I thought to myself, man, what an example of the universe just sending me the answers, the creative answers that I should have seen. That anybody is probably, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are thinking, oh yeah, idiot, of course, sorry, idiot, shouldn't talk to myself like that. That's not how I try to catch myself when I say things like that. So sorry, silly. It's a little lighter. I know, it sounds corny, but it's just something I do. But anyway, so I'm sure somebody who is a nurse or whatever, does what I do for a living, is probably thinking to myself, well, okay, well, yeah, that sounds pretty obvious to do that. But I've been working with this big guy for 2 years, and for some reason it's just not, the reason why is just because I haven't tried to do my job with excellence intentionally anymore, or before now. And so I think, like I said, I think that's what strikes me is the combination of living intentionally, and one of the things that I'm trying to be intentional about is doing my job with excellence. The combination of those two resulted in a great treatment for my patient this morning. It's going to be a new routine that you can be sure that's how I'm going to do it every day for him now. So I know I've now made that a win-win for both of us. I can feel like I've gotten his treatment in as effectively as possible, and he also will get the full benefit. So I don't know. Like I said, I think, it really struck me today that was something I wanted to talk about. And one of the things that doing so got me to thinking, may have been listening to a podcast after I was done with him. His morning routine was, I was thinking that's what I need to do as well, is make his morning routine as excellent as my new morning routine has been. There's no reason I should deprive him of that benefit. So I'm going to start talking to him a lot more and just talking him through and just feeding his mind with some of the things that I've been thinking about and talking about in the car. Why not? I may bore him. He's probably going to laugh at first, and he's going to think I'm being silly, but who cares? Like I said, that's my plan, because I feel like he will absorb some of it. He's got enough cognitive ability to absorb some of it and make his day in his first hour, his morning, excellent as I can help him make it. But it also got me thinking, too, the reason why I haven't done all this before as well is because I've always told myself, I'm just going to make the best of it. And I've always considered, I'm not doing a bad job. I'm making the best of it, I don't love my job and I don't really want to be here. So therefore, like I said, I'm going to make the best of it. And when I said that, it really struck me. It caught my attention. I said, making the best of it. That's not what I think it is. It's kind of like that scene in Princess Bride. I do not think that word means what you think it does, because think about it. If I were making the best of it, I would have been doing what I was doing this morning, and that is to live intentionally and to be an excellent nurse at all times and to be conscious of the type of nurse I'm being. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing the best I can, And it's funny how I'm sure I'm not the only one that has said that, but yet when I say the best I can, what I really mean is good enough to get by. And so what a trick, huh? I don't know. Just really struck me when I thought that this morning, that I don't want to do my old version of the best I can anymore, That just doesn't make sense to me anymore, because the best I can is definitely a lot better than what I used to think of the best I can. I don't know. Man, here I go talking about how I'm not as chatty in the afternoon as I am in the morning, huh? It just goes to show I'm absolutely chatty when I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about. And when I talk about things that really make an impact on me and that I think might help somebody else, if anybody ever were to see this, then I think, you know what? Hey, that's something that gets me excited. Again, corny, I know, but I get excited about those things because, like I said, there's been so many episodes recently that the universe has been speaking to me and using phrases like you're best equipped to help the person you used to be, because I've struggled for so long before this podcast, before this video, before this channel, on knowing I wanted to help people, but not knowing who I could help. Because again, who the hell is going to listen to a guy like me? I'm a nobody, dude. I know that, but I know I've listened to nobodies before, and I've heard and I've been inspired by nobodies before, It didn't really matter who they were when they were saying what I needed to hear. you know? So I don't know. I think what finally struck me when I heard that phrase, you're best equipped to help the person you used to be, is, and then that and a combination of a couple other podcasts eventually have culminated into this realization that I am not an expert in most things, but I am an expert at getting through my life. I'm 100% on that. And I haven't been through some of the things that a lot of people have been through. I haven't been through sexual abuse. I wasn't truly physically abused. I had a very strict stepfather that was heavy-handed, if you will, and that'll be something I'll talk about in future days. But I'll tell you, I'm not, I don't know. I'm pulling up to the house now, and I completely lost my train of thought because of that. But this channel, this video, this everything is about, to me, helping people who either used to be the person I was or is now the person I am, and can find value in some of the lessons that I learned because of the dumbass mistakes that we've made, you and I have both made. I'm not proud of most of them. I'm not proud of any of them. Some of them I'll laugh about more than others because they weren't as destructive, maybe, or maybe because they were so destructive, the only thing I can do is laugh about them now. I don't know. But what I will say is, I truly believe that when people talk about the things they've been through and the things they've experienced, there's a benefit, because other people who've been through those things and are going through those things can hear it and take solace and hope, and some hope that they're not alone and that there is a way through it. I mean, look at me, dude. When you hear about some of the things that I've been through, there's some of you that are going to be like, nah, that's nothing. But then I guarantee you there's going to be some of you that hear it and you're like, whoa, that's me, man. And why the hell am I where I'm at now? Why can't I get and doing what he's doing? Because like I said this morning, I think maybe I'm just one step ahead of somebody. There's somebody I'm one step ahead of. Because I know there's a whole lot of people that are so many steps ahead of me that I've benefited from. So if I'm one step ahead about anybody, or I'm on the same journey as somebody and I can really help them get through something and make something click a little quicker and easier, man, that's something that moves me and really makes me emotional. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to start rambling if I don't get off of this soon, but I'm going to call this episode 2 because, yo, I had a pretty good chat. I don't know what you guys think. If you want more of this, please let me know. But like I said, thanks for watching. Corny as hell. I know. Love you guys.